Hi, everyone, and welcome to our first virtual meetup of the year. That's 2026. We are live with everyone from VictoriaMetrics. We have very exciting updates to share from Q1. I'm going to start with the introductions. Why not? I'm Diana. I'm the developer relation engineer here at VictoriaMetrics. And I'm going to pass it to my colleagues to give a quick intro about themselves. So Matthias, you can take it from here.
Yeah, I'm Matthias. I'm a solutions engineer at VictoriaMetrics, and I'm located in Iowa in the middle of the US. JJ, you want to go next?
Sure. I'm Jean-Jérôme, or JJ, and I look after marketing and community marketing at VictoriaMetrics.
Great, let me be next. My name is Fred Navruzov. I'm leading VictoriaMetrics Anomaly detection team, or simply called WEM Anomaly, and I'm located in Poland, Eastern Europe. Nice to see you all. I'm happy to be here. Jose, will you be next?
Thanks, Fred. I am Jose. I work as product lead at VictoriaMetrics Cloud, which is our managed solution, and I am based in Madrid, in Spain. So next one is Alex.
Hello, I'm Alex, Alexander Valyalkin. I'm CTO at VictoriaMetrics. I'm located in Poland, in Krakow, and the weather is good today in Krakow. I will talk about new features in VictoriaLogs during this meetup. And the last one is Max.
Yeah. Hi everyone. My name is Max. I'm all things metrics. Located in Kiev, Ukraine. The weather is a bit cold, but we have what we have.
Yeah, it's always the weather, right? The weather is the one that causes some issues. Great. So, I mean, we've been doing so many things in Q1. It went really, really fast. I mean, so fast that, right now we are in April, instead we're in Q2. And we decided to, hey, let's do the live streaming on whatever we did in the first quarter. So this time we wanted to mix it up a little bit and start maybe with the community updates. I'm just going to check that my colleague JJ is here. I think just happened to go offline. Okay, so okay, I'm going to try to add the presentation here, so hang tight with me.
Yeah, let's wait for a couple of minutes. Probably JJ has some issues with the connectivity, and we'll return back.
Yeah, no worries.
And we can talk about weather. Continue.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't say I'm based in Valencia in Spain, so yeah, there is always nice weather, and you are welcome here. Yeah, so we are waiting for JJ. Apparently has some tech issues, but no worries, he'll be back really fast.
I guess there was a reason why those from Spain, we didn't talk about weather. We didn't want to,
You don't want to brag about how it's always nice there and Mother Nature isn't trying to scare you.
Yeah, it looks like you want to tell something about that.
Yeah. So where I live, it's like fairly common to have tornadoes like once or twice a year. In the US, it's called Tornado Alley. It goes from like Texas up through like I'm on the very end of it in Iowa. And so the last couple of days we've had like severe thunderstorm warnings, and it's a tornado touchdown like 20 minutes away from my house.
Is that super scary, Matthias?
I've grown up with it, and most of the people that like have lived there their entire lives like get desensitized to it. And it gets to the point where like when the tornado sirens go off, people will just like sit in their garage door and drink beer and like watch the weather instead of like hide in their basement.
Do these garages are protected from tornado? No,
it's just cover from the rain, but you're just so used to it. It's like
Yeah.
More fun to watch
No
the weather than
protection.
to sit in your basement.
I mean,
Lucky for
to
me,
be
it's the
honest,
same thing.
I would be scared of tornadoes. I mean, I grew up in Romania, in Bucharest, that's the capital, but we were like pretty close to the some like epicenter of earthquakes. So from time to time we got some serious earthquakes. So like, ooh, Mother Nature.
Continuing on
something.
disaster team, we had kind of different issues here in Wrocław in Poland, so we are prone to flooding, and it was quite a disastrous previous one, but then authorities had made great decisions. So previous year, once it happened again, nobody got hurt, and it was kind of controlled way of survival of the flooding. So it's really great that somebody makes conclusions in right directions.
Yeah.
So I think JJ is back here.
Yeah, GG is back,
Yes.
so not tornadoes.
No, thankfully.
So yeah, I mean, let's add maybe the slides. We had some very cool presentation from the community side. Normally we start directly, you know, with the products like with VictoriaMetrics or VictoriaLogs, but this time we wanted to do it differently because just a couple of weeks ago we had an important event. Like we all know, KubeCon EU Amsterdam happened, and VictoriaMetrics was present there. And we are like obviously very excited that we engaged with so many users and got so many great feedback to improve upon and stories. So yeah, we want to do it differently and start with this. So let's see if we can add the slides. If not, maybe we can start talking about
JJ, I think
tornadoes.
you need to add your slide deck again.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Hold on, let
Yeah.
me do that. Okay.
Okay, let me just fish them out. Perfect. Okay, so we will see each other, the other speakers, pretty soon. And I will remain right now with GJ on the stage. Right, perfect. So I think we can start, GJ.
Hey, Diana.
Yep.
Yeah, we can't hear you, I think.
I can hear everybody. Okay.
But
Hello?
I think
I'm able to hear you, Diana. JJ,
Yep.
are your speakers working?
Can you hear me though?
Yes,
Yep.
we can.
Okay, well then I'll talk. Okay, I'll talk.
Perfect.
Okay,
No
cool.
worries.
So this is the agenda for this is our agenda for today. So we'll start with the community updates and news, which is what this presentation is, and then we'll get on to the VictoriaMetrics roadmap updates by Max, and then we'll have Jose with an update on VictoriaMetrics Cloud and Fadil with anomaly detection. Alexander will then follow with the VictoriaLogs roadmap updates. And then we'll have open microphone for all of you to ask questions, and we can have a discussion towards the end of this meetup. But for now, so we do this. We like to do this. So we're at 1 billion plus downloads. So that's still the number. I mean, it's a big number. So I think it'll be up there for a while until we hit, maybe 2 billion. That would be fantastic to see. But we also have a couple of nice milestones with over 5,000 followers now in our public Slack channel. So if you're not following us there yet, I invite you to join us there. We have our general channel there, but also it breaks down into traces, into logs, into metrics. We have a community channel there as well. And we're heading towards over 20,000 GitHub stars across our different repos, which is also really cool. So thanks to everyone who leaves a star there. It's all organic, and we're really proud of that. So thanks for all the support and for the love of our products. this is something that we've been wanting to be able to show for quite some time. It's the second time we show this slide now. It's a little bit of a vanity slide, but it's just pretty cool. So we're in the top 10 on the DB Engine's rankings site for time series databases, and we're pretty well anchored there now in the top 10, which is really nice to see. It took us a few years to get there, but it's nice to be there now. We've also, VictoriaLogs is now also introduced in DB engines, so we'll see how that progresses. And eventually we'd love to see traces there as well, of course. There was one highlight that I want to bring up, or something pretty cool, a nice story, so a user story, which came out by the Open AI team. It's an internal observability solution that they talked about and presented in communications that they did. And our colleague Pablo packaged this up into a blog post, to which you have the link here. So VictoriaLogs, VictoriaMetrics, and VictoriaTraces are being used internally at OpenAI. And Pablo published this blog post, which walks you through how you might be able to do a similar setup via Docker. So it's a pretty cool blog post, and it's also a nice summary of how OpenAI are using our solutions. And I just wanted to bring everyone's attention to that. It was a nice story to see come out, first of all, and second, to be able to work with. And so those were some of the highlights on the community and user front. And then I'll hand over to you, Diana, for the developer experience updates.
Sure, thank you so much, DJ. And to be honest, I never get tired of seeing twice the slides because it is indeed an organic progress of our users, of the progress that we have regarding the followers. So that's really, really good. So going to the first quarter developer experience results, we started really intensely with 10 conferences across the globe. We started actually in Belgium with FOSDEM and continued with other conferences. We are still sponsoring right now 5 conferences because we haven't finished April. So far, we sponsored Scale 23 Observability Day, which took place in Amsterdam, and KubeCon EU Amsterdam. And we have other conferences that are still coming up in the following weeks in April. We have DevOps Greece, with a very nice talk about OpenTelemetry, Linux Fest Northwest, where we have actually 3 speakers, and we are also sponsoring, and StackConf with 2 speakers, and we are also sponsors. So we are really trying to engage with as many users as possible in different corners of the world, give different testimonials, different use cases about our products, our solution, and yeah, we definitely keep an accent on the open source projects. So what about KubeCon EU Amsterdam? I think everybody is really excited about this. Obviously, it's a very, very big, important cloud native conference. And this time we are very, very proud to actually also be on the stage. So we had a talk called Retroactive Sampling with OpenTelemetry, cut 90% distributed tracing bandwidth usage, presented by our co-founder Roman and our software engineer Jay Kuhn. They did an excellent job, and we had very interesting conversations afterwards with the users. So not to take too much time, you can please watch, if you want, the recording of this talk on the CNCF YouTube channel. They're all available there. And really soon, probably after we finish this live streaming, we'll have a blog post published on the VictoriaMetrics official blog, getting into the technical details about this talk, right? So we'll be optimizing tail sampling in OpenTelemetry with retroactive sampling written by our software engineer Jay Kuhn. So there you go. There's something to read about. Obviously, these are just some photos that we took during the event, and we had not 1 but 2 talks actually at KubeCon. More so, we had a presence during Platform Engineering Day with other couple of talks. more focused on, let's say, human aspects of platform engineering. And we also published a new post on CNCF blog about the impact of platform engineering and diverse perspectives. So it's really nice to engage with the cloud native community from different perspectives, also live, obviously, but also keep publishing more about our findings. So these are just a few examples. Obviously, we always like to put pictures because it's always good to show the testimonials. Like we always appreciate the community engagement at all these conferences. And obviously a big thank you to the team. We never say enough thank you to the team. We were 15 people, I think, more or less, at KubeCon EU Amsterdam, which is really great. And we did, covered a lot of topics. But obviously, a team also has to have fun. So after the full day of work, we kind of connected with our user in our first after party. So this happened during KubeCon, and we see all the team happy here during the team dinner. So yeah, it's a very good and productive times. Not the least, obviously, we started since January this year a new podcast called Telemetry Talks, which focuses on observability, open telemetry, and obviously the VictoriaMetrics observability signals. Why is this very important, or why we thought about to be an interesting topic? Because OpenTelemetry is actually the second most popular CNCF project after Kubernetes. Obviously, VictoriaMetrics is supporting natively OpenTelemetry, and we have a lot of users asking for different use cases and how we can cover OpenTelemetry. So because of that, we already have 5 different episodes that will be released. The 4th one, I think, next month. And besides English content, we have some Spanish content, as you can see. So that's always good to reach out to in different languages to more users and get your feedback. We started not just one, but actually 2 podcasts. So the next podcast is actually more focused on community and open source. It's called DevX Talks, and it's actually vendor neutral. So we are not talking about VictoriaMetrics. We are actually inviting different people from the open source community that they have different type of experience. We also try to engage in different languages, like you see in the last one that is published is actually in French. So we are very excited to have more of the community members willing to have great conversation with us. What next? Something that is coming actually next month in May. So from the 18th to 19th of May in Bucharest, Romania, we have our first VictoriaMetrics workshop. So our product leads, Jose Gomez, who is a product lead, like you saw on VictoriaMetrics Cloud, together with Fred, the anomaly detection lead, they will give an awesome workshop about observability together with OpenTelemetry and VictoriaMetrics stack. So if you are there, if you're around, please don't hesitate to grab a ticket and see us and attend the workshop. Some of the upcoming conferences and talks in the next quarter, like we also kind of like said at the beginning, we have a very exciting conference about Linux Fest. Yeah. And the SACConf, yeah, JJ, if you want to say something.
Yeah, thanks, Diana.
Yep.
Cool.
Sorry.
So
Yeah.
we're going to do quite a few talks actually at different conferences and events. Those are kind of the bigger ones, or the ones that are more immediately coming up. And so we have colleagues who will be traveling next week to the United States, or are there, to Linux Fest Northwest. It's a conference we've been doing for a few years now. It's a great open source conference, actually, the Linux Fest ones, and it's the 24th to 26th of April. So if you're in the area, please do come by and say hello. We'll be in Munich then from the 28th to the 29th of this month at StackConf. So similar, we'll have talks there, and would be happy to meet you there, of course, if you're going to be in the Munich area and at the event. I think then, Diana, you at Devox UK in May, on the 6th of May, with a talk as well. And then middle of May, from the 21st to the 22nd, we'll be at the Open Source and at the Observability Summit, both with a talk, a panel, and we're also sponsoring. So it will be great to see you there. There's more coming as well. We'll be at different conferences in the summer, and then we're preparing the fall and winter. But for now, those are the most immediate ones, and we'd love to see you there, of course. And so do drop by our booths or say hello to our speakers if you are going to be at one of these conferences. And then I wanted to draw your attention to some of these blog posts that we published over the past few months. Our colleagues Alexander Marshaller, for example, posted about vibe coding tools observability with VictoriaMetrics observability stack and OpenTelemetry. That's a really nice blog post to read through. It's quite different and to what we've published so far. And there are some cool tips and tricks in there that I invite you to read about. Then our colleague Fong published on VictoriaLogs Basics, which is a great way to get to know the product well and get started with lots of insights into VictoriaLogs. Then Jose, who's going to talk shortly as well, announced VictoriaLogs in VictoriaMetrics Cloud, and there'll be more on that shortly. And then we have a benchmarking Kubernetes log collectors blog by our colleague Alexei. And finally, our colleague Pablo publishes now monthly. At the end of every month or the following, just early the next month, we publish a VictoriaMetrics ecosystem update blog post, which covers all of the feature highlights from all of our different products. So you can find this blog post at the end of every month or the beginning of the new month. And we'll be posting these on a monthly basis and communicating on that basis as well. Of course, you always find this information in our documentation and in our changelog, but it's a nice summary to be able to go through that we publish every month now. And finally, you can always visit us on victoriametrics.community. So we invite you to check out that website. We have links there to the different meetups and meetup groups that we currently have organized and arranged, and same thing. So I invite you to first of all check it out. Second, if you would like to do a meetup in your area, in your city, and you don't see it there, please contact us also via this website. We're looking to do more meetups, if anything, this year than we did previously. So it'd be great to talk to you if you have ideas and suggestions. And with that, over to you, Diana.
Perfect. No worries. Thank you so much, JJ. That was really great, and I hope you all are super excited about all these community updates. And I'm going to invite to the stage Max. And hi, can you hear us?
Yeah, I
Perfect.
can hear you well.
Perfect. And I'll add the presentation. Yeah.
So hello, everyone. I will walk you through what happened in VictoriaMetrics in Q1.
So Max, just I wanted to barge in like like this, and I know that you have like a very, very cool presentation about all the updates. Just like out of my curiosity, do you have any preference for a particular update, something that got you really excited for this quarter?
For me personally, or for the community?
Yeah. No, for you personally.
For me personally, in Q1, I implemented a small feature that allows you to see a panel with errors in VictoriaMetrics and click on that error and go straight to the source code. And this is a small feature, but it is a huge quality of life improvement. We work a lot with customers and support them and work with their metrics. And previously, it took like several minutes to get this line where the problem happened, and then find the source code, the place in the source code. Now it is like a few seconds.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be excited like this because I was a developer and I like things like really practical and simple. So yeah, thank you for that. So let's get it. The floor is yours, Max.
Yeah, VictoriaMetrics, Q1. Let's start from some stats. We released seven new versions and started a new LTS line, 136. And the LTS line 110 reached end of life, so it is no longer supported. And we backported quite a lot of bug fixes to the LTS lines. Just a quick reminder what the LTS line means. It is a version that doesn't receive any new features, but it receives all the bugs that we found in future. We backport them to those versions. And LTS versions available as an enterprise offering. And if you prefer stability over new features or living on the edge, that might be for you. In terms of bug fixes, we fixed 73 bugs, implemented over 100 small quality of life improvements, and answered 46 questions. Actually, we answered a lot more questions. It is only a statistic from the GitHub. So someone opened an issue on GitHub and we helped that user. From the component perspective, most of the activity were around storage and VM agent. Then moderate activity with VM mouse and VM alert. We get a lot of feedback on those components and improve them or make them more compatible with Prometheus. Speaking about Prometheus compatibility, there were 8 issues marked as a discrepancy between VictoriaMetrics and Prometheus. And whenever we find something like that, we try to fix it and keep VictoriaMetrics as compatible with Prometheus as possible. Also, performance was in focus. I hope the problem with nightly spikes will go away finally. We try to support OpenTelemetry as much as possible. For example, in Q1, we added support for delta temporality and negative exponential histograms. VictoriaMetrics now support them. There were a lot of things. I just want to highlight a few that I think people would benefit from the most. The first one, we released partition index. Index is a structure that helps you find metrics fast inside the storage. And previously we had data partitioned in 1 month's blocks, but the index was global. It means that for the whole retention period, 3 months, 1 year, couple of years, you will have a single monolithic index. And what it means, you can't remove a part of it. For example, when some data block goes out of the retention window, it is removed, but index can't be removed because its granularity, it is monolithic. And to make things worse, we can't remove it when even if like a few days left in the previous index, we still have to keep it around, even if most of the data inside it is not needed anymore, but we still have to keep it there. It creates this waste of this storage space, and to fix this problem, we split the index into partition as well. So now data and index lives inside partition, and when this partition goes out retention, it is completely removed. It has to decrease space usage on new versions, but it won't happen immediately. Like whenever you upgrade to the version that supports partition index, the, say, legacy index will be kept around, and the space will be reclaimed in some time in future. So you won't see immediate benefits from it. Another thing that there is no any migration scripts or things happening. You can just upgrade to the new version, and everything should work fine. No need for extra resources allocations or anything like that. Expect like 5-10 minutes increase of CPU usage and memory usage after deployment. But after that, everything should return back to normal and operate as previously. And there is one known issue with partition index. It works.
So I have a question, Max. Sorry
Yeah.
to interrupt, because we have somebody asking, are there any plans to support only per day indexes instead of per day and per month index?
We are discussing that. Yeah, that's what the problem with partition index we have currently. For smaller than 1 month retention periods, the performance of like partition index doesn't decrease the space. It works otherwise. It increases the space. So people who use, for example, 7 days retention period, they will see storage space increasing after upgrade. So we would address this issue. There is no like simple solution to this problem, but we are aware of that, and I think we will find a solution.
Yeah, sure, perfect. Thank you, Max.
Yeah, the next feature is OIDC authentication. Just a quick intro how it works. So previously, to authenticate requests, you had to deploy VMouse service and define all the users there, provide their username, password, or bearer token, everything there. The problem here that whenever you have to add or remove user or rotate credentials, you have to modify VMouse and redeploy it and so on. And with this feature, all this user management is offloaded from VMouse, delegated to identity provider. It could be Google or Keycloak or Okta, whatever. So you manage users there, you manage their credentials, and then user authenticate on that identity provider, gets GVT token, and that token contains a set of claims about that user. And VMouse can verify those claims, fetching the public keys or from identity provider. It can verify the signature and verify that the claims inside that GVT token, they are correct. And it looks like that. So there is a GVT token has a header and then has a body. That body contains some claims. For example, this user has access to tenant 1, and they have to see only metrics that are limited to this extra filter. And VMouse will enforce these restrictions. So, for example, one of the ways how this feature could be used, you say you have VM single, and then you can add this claim with extra filters, and all the requests that comes through VMhouse will be enforced. In the configuration, it looks like this. Only one user with URL prefix and this template metrics extra filters, and the value for this template is taken from the GVT token if it is correct. Another case, when you have a cluster and you want to use tenancy, you can add metrics account ID claim or project ID. And in this case, you use different template value, metrics tenant. And this one user can serve hundreds or thousands users from your organization. You can go a bit more fancy and set up even more complicated setups. For example, here, someone with role admin can have like global access to everything you store, and some other users, they could have access only to a specific region. And the configuration for such setup looks like that. To make it work, you need two users, one for admin and one for AZ2 user. And the tokens are matched by role, and then you proxy that user to specific VM select. The feature works not only for metrics, but for logs and traces. For that, you have to add logs, another claim, logs account ID, and set this information on headers, because in logs, the tenancy information is passed via headers. Yeah, that's all about authentication. The next feature, the protection from slow writing clients. This feature might be interested for people who has like a lot of IoT devices spread out on the internet, and then these devices send metrics to the host, right? Send back those metrics. And since the devices might work on unreliable network, and the speed of that network might be limited, we do not control that stuff, it creates a problem. Previously, such clients would occupy the concurrency slots on all stages inside VMhouse on VM cluster, and imagine they send data like 1 byte per second. They occupy the slot, they send just 1 byte. The ingestion drops because another users can't send their data. They have to wait for available slot. And clusters doesn't work because the 1 byte per second is nothing to do. So they are idle most of the time. You have a lot of resources, they are not utilized. You have a lot of users that just wait because of such slow writing clients. And to fix this problem, we placed a buffer before occupying the concurrency limit. So user has to fill this buffer, and only after the buffer is full or we read all the requests, we allow user to try to get that concurrency slot. And
so,
yeah.
just to interrupt again, because we have some questions coming in from YouTube channel. So, is the OpenID Connect feature available also in the open source version?
Yes, the OEDC GVT authentication is completely open source feature.
Nice, nice.
Yes. Yeah, so this buffer is enabled by default. The value is set into 32 kilobytes, and it has to protect in such cases. Next feature, the restore performance was improved by 5 times, and the change was contributed by a community member, Ben. Here's the screenshot from their system. Previously, they could keep the throughput like around 100 megabytes, and after the fix, the throughput skyrocketed to 600. You can achieve this this improvement only if network is not limiting factor. So, for example, you have a lot of bandwidth in network, and in this case, the file system on the receiving side becomes a bottleneck, and this feature improves that. It pre-allocates all the files on the file system and write files in bigger chunks. Before it was a few kilobytes, now it is megabytes, and because of that, like, we get this huge performance improvement. So you can restore your system like 5 times faster. The downside of this feature that if restore fails midway, there is no way to continue from that point. You have to start from the beginning. There is a flag that disables this behavior. So if you want to have this ability to continue from the point you stopped, then you can set that flag. Another big feature, we released a new VM distributed custom resource for our VictoriaMetrics operator. It helps with the several regions deployment of VictoriaMetrics. It automates the deployment process, sorry. So, for example, you want to bring region 1 down for maintenance. In this case, VM agent will start persisting the data for that region on disk, and VMhouse will exclude this region. It will see the errors and exclude or you can manually remove that region 1 from read path and use only region 2 and region 3. Then once you completed the maintenance, before you can return the region back to the work, you have to wait until the VM agent queue drained. Once it drained, you are sure that all the regions have the same complete data, and only after that you can enable the read path on the VMhouse, for the region 1. Previously, all that I said was done manually. So you have to create these regions, set up VMhouse, set up VM agent, monitor metrics, wait for drained queue, and so on. Currently, VM distributed CR will do everything for you. you define the amount of regions you want, and then you can update them, and all the magic will happen inside. It will wait for right status there. What a presentation without AI.
We are so lucky.
Yeah, we have nice improvements to our MCP servers. First, the server got this UI page where you can visit it and see how this service could be integrated with Claude Code or other AI tools. It is for people, not AI. Yeah, and the second page shows the tools this service provides with a short description and the ability to try it out. So it is kind of AI server, but this improvement is for us humans. And another thing is pass-through headers. So the MCP server can communicate with one metrics server or log service or traces. And this is limitation. To overcome this limitation, you can set up kind of a proxy between MCP server and, say, metrics server. And using this pass-through header, you can define what server you want to talk to. So you can have one MCP server and talking to multiple metrics servers with this feature. And it also can help you do authorization things. Default tenant. Previously, MCP server worked with tenant 0. Now you can specify what tenant you can query data from. And for the cloud, VictoriaMetrics Cloud, there is no need to install MCP server. MCP server is included to all offerings. By default, you just have to provide the URL of that server to your Claude and with some authorization information. And all information you have in VictoriaMetrics Cloud will be available for analysis. A bit about our next steps. We want to extend future retention. Currently, it is possible to store data in future for 2 days, I believe. But it is like people want more, especially people who works with forecasting things. They want to store their forecasts, and forecasts can be for weeks or months or even more. And we are going to add a flag that allows you to set this period, how much in the future you want to store data. Another feature is cluster native API in single node. With this feature, it will be possible to for the single node to join cluster. And if you have a single node and you want to migrate to the cluster, then it will be possible. You can add it to existing cluster, configure selects to send requests to those single nodes, and it will work. It will greatly simplify the migration from single to cluster. And we are going to support Prometheus native histograms. We will convert them to VictoriaMetrics histogram. So yeah, and the last feature, metrics data exchange. It is an extension for VImagined that allows to easily filter VictoriaMetrics related metrics from all other metrics. And imagine you have like a lot of things running together. There are your applications and some VictoriaMetrics related services, and then you want to monitor your metrics infrastructure, because the stability of metrics infrastructure is critical. It gives you visibility, it gives you alerts, so it has to work properly. But the problem is that you have to somehow extract these metrics-related metrics, right? And MDX will help with that. You can, if you have this one pipeline for all the metrics that goes from regions to the storages, then you can get this part of the metrics. Yeah.
Yep. No, I mean, that's exciting, Max. I mean, all these updates, I wanted to ask you, and I'm not going to apologize anymore for interrupting you. So I wanted to ask you, like, where do you see users from the community asking like more updates or features for VictoriaMetrics? Is there something that you see becoming like a priority? What would be the next, let's say, that you see rising from the community side?
All the things that we prioritize, they are tightly coupled to what people need. So we listen to the feedback. We see how people comment on the issues, how many likes they place on the issue, what is the activity in Slack, Telegram, and so on. And this like adjusts our priority.
Yep. No, that's obviously this is how it works for an open source project. Yeah, I don't think I'm checking the comments. I'm not sure we have any new ones, like any particular question, but we can always come back, obviously, if there are any. So thank you so much, Max, for this.
Wait,
yep.
one last thing.
Yep.
We are hiring in VictoriaMetrics, and if you are interested in observability metrics, you want to build a great metrics product from developers for developers, and you like helping people, then we are waiting for you. The best way to get noticed is to start to be active on our community, help with answering users' questions or filing issues or contributing PRs. Most of the team members, current team members, became the part of the team that way. Yeah, that's all I have.
Absolutely. Yeah, so true about that. Just a comment that we got is like, no news about VictoriaLogs. Is it still the part of Metrics project? Any comeback, Max, about that?
We have several products at this moment: Metrics, Logs, and Traces. All of them are part of the VictoriaMetrics company.
Yeah, exactly. But they're presented separately because, we wanted to keep it separate. So yeah, no worries. Well, we will be with VictoriaLogs in a short while, but right now we will have VictoriaMetrics Cloud. So thank you so much, Max, for this great presentation.
Thank you.
1 second. Let's see this and add Jose. Hi, Jose. How are you?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely.
Good. Thanks. Hi, everyone. Hello. Okay. So yeah, it's been great to hear about everything that comes from metrics and the community, and also being part of that. I see some urgency to hear about logs in the chat, so we will also talk about that here.
Before you kick in, Jose, and there will be some slight interruptions. That's life, we like to keep it in reality. Just because before jumping into the wonderful updates, I wanted to ask you, just like I asked Max, do you have any particular update that you're super proud for this Q1?
Oh yeah, I mean we have many. I think my favorite is we made our passwords more secure. No, just kidding. I think I love all my children the same, or the team has been doing a great job. It's hard to pick. I have two favorites, but because of all the work behind, I think I need to pick VictoriaLogs, because we used to have only one product, if you want to say it that way, in VictoriaMetrics Cloud. Now we have two, right? So VictoriaLogs was part of Cloud during this quarter, and I think that was this awesome work by the team. Yeah.
Awesome. So let's hear all about it.
Yeah, let's go for that. Just a reminder for everybody, if you didn't know about it, VictoriaMetrics, apart from being a great project, some people need someone else to host them. So we are here for you. If you want to send us your metrics and logs, we will take them and care about them. So you can just sign up. You will have 1 month free trial, some credits for free. If you want to make some even longer tests, we can help you with that. And we are putting some effort in the documentation as well. So please check these links. VictoriaMetrics.cloud is now your page to look. And I will also speak a bit more about that in a second. But as I said, that's, I will not speak the agenda. I will just go through it. VictoriaLogs, as I said, has been generally available in VictoriaMetrics Cloud. The first thing I want to say is, apart from thanking the team, because they've been great, doing a lot of effort here, and also the open source project, which it's kind of easy when you have a great engine. Making a good product is easier than if you had any other source. People also helped us during the beta testing. We are working on other things, so we will ask the same in the future. But this time we really want to thank, because we touched some issues super fast just because we had these beta testers. So thank you from everyone in the team. We use the same philosophy as for metrics, so it's focused on performance, cost efficiency, ease of use, and you can just deploy. You will have your instance up and running, and there you can just store logs with LogsQL. And one of my favorites is being able to save your queries, because not every product offers that. But also, we wrote a blog post. People are welcome to take a look and even provide comments. Since that, because that happened like the beginning of the quarter, we've been adding more things. The open source project is going super fast, as Alex will explain later, and we are keeping up with that speed. And we added this new overview page as well into the product, which is awesome, because now you can just check how everything is going. Is my volume going up? You can filter. You can check the rates, cardinality, drilling down, and just clicking. You just have it in the console, right? And that's one of the most important things when you want to understand what's going on. It's not only that, because we acknowledge one of the things I've always loved about VictoriaMetrics is that the ability to integrate with everything. And we acknowledge, like a lot of people use Grafana to have everything together, right? So it's super easy to integrate it. In cloud, we made this effort to provide integrations super quick. So you just, pick your access token and everything is up and running. So Grafana or OpenTelemetry, like if you didn't know, VictoriaLogs is OpenTelemetry native, also for wide events. So in case you were wondering, it works out of the box, and it provides great functionality to filter and go over that, and it's super performant. But also, if you use Perses or FluentBeat or Vector, or Logstash, Alloy, Promptail, or VL Agent, we got you covered, right? That's one of the, as I said, one of the main things I love about the project. If you go to the UI, you will just see all of them. And if you don't find it here, let us know. But probably it will just work. So this is just only.
Yeah, so we have actually a question for this. Are there any plans to allow storing recording rules results from a cloud log instance to a VictoriaMetrics instance?
We had a bit of a discussion this morning, actually, about having things together. How to provide alerts for logs instances is something we have in the roadmap, and yeah, we will be looking into that. Yeah.
Nice, thank you.
Yeah, because one of the first things is like, now I have the logs. Now I want to be alerted when this happens, and having that easily done is one of the challenges, of course. Right now, it's everything is very manual. Yeah, we need to find a good user experience for that.
For sure.
And yeah, so and as I said, right, integrated in this framework of integrations and all of that. And just to say, if you are using, just as an example, if you are using a VictoriaLogs agent or VL agent, it just looks like this. You know, you can just throw everything, but it works like that with other agents, and you can take this integration in our documentation as well. Okay, apart from that, like times go super fast, and the team is like adding a lot of features. We also enabled deleting logs. Maybe, you know, we don't recommend people to just delete a big chunk of logs, you know, like terabytes, because that will impact your performance. But if you need to remove some of them because, hey, you made a mistake or some GDPR compliance you need, now this is available. And also we made some improvements in documentation as usual. Second big thing, as Max said, we need to talk about AI and the MCP server. This is actually something asked by customers. We had an issue this morning asking for this as well. So it was an easy support case to solve. We have available now an MCP server, meaning that you don't need to run it yourself in your computer. You can just configure the assistant you love, you know, like I use Claude, as I will show in a second, but if you have other Cursor or Visual Studio Code or ChatGPT, whatever, you can just point it with, and we help with that. So it's running on the cloud, and it's using this feature that Max was saying. It works as everything in cloud with the access token. You create the access token, and then we provide access. So how can you use this? I was doing a presentation in a meetup a month ago or so, and I did this live, so I just make the screenshot. I needed to ask Claude to translate it to English because this was in Spanish, but still, this is real. I had a service running, and I asked in natural language, hey, how is my service going? And it just painted this for me. It just gave me the latency, everything, because I am generating the metrics and I am storing them in VictoriaMetrics. So some people, like maybe Diana, you and me, we've been building dashboards for a while, but some people are really scared or doing dashboards, or they hate them for any reason. In this way, if you have enough tokens, you can do it by yourself with AI. So it's pretty cool. I am very impressed.
Yeah, we would, to be honest, like going from manual to actual AI assistants, giving you the dashboard is actually pretty impressive. And the fact that it actually also provides you the diagnostics and the cool graphic is like, I will never do that in maybe like a week, So yeah, we are definitely progressing.
Yeah, totally. And then when you need to make this dashboard, like for investigations, I need to make this dashboard and make it work. Then it's something cool. I like it. And it looked like our users too, because as I said, they are asking for it. So it's great that this is done. I also want to praise here to Alexander Marshalov. He's doing a lot of push. He's pushing a lot this project by himself, even in the open source, and teaching everyone as well. I am learning a lot from him as well. So kudos to him and of course the rest of the team. Okay, the third big thing. Maybe you may say, well, this is not a feature. Yeah, maybe, but let me explain. We have a new page. So we are now in 2026, finally. We have a page that is mobile phone responsive, that it allows you to change. Let me see if I don't break the stream. Okay, it works. This is live. So, hey, dark mode. I will not do this because some people in the team don't like dark mode, so I will go back to light mode and with this flashbang. But
I love dark mode.
Yeah, thank you. I'm not alone here. We noticed a lot of people came to the product, and you sign up, you just ask for pricing, you just want the pricing. So why don't we make this available? People don't need to waste their time, right? It's tricky because everybody struggles to provide something cool or something useful that you can understand. But before that, I just want to say that here we try to provide all the information to people. And even by the way, downsampling, trying to explain it in one graph, this was difficult, but I think we made it. We get a lot of questions like, hey, what is downsampling? How can it help? Hopefully, this will help. I will not spend time explaining it because I hope it is self-explanatory. But the point is, then people will ask, hey, how much does it cost, right? So here, what we did a lot of benchmarks. And we provide our tiers that people just pick for cloud. They pick their, let's say their box, how big they want the box, they pay that much. And we benchmark them. So you can pick them and compare. So for example, I don't know, the starter tier, this can get you very far, like 500,000 active time series can be a lot. You pay this much, you pick your retention, we make you this. But then you will say, hey, is this a lot of money? I don't know, right? This is $300. Maybe it's a lot. And this is a question we get. So we decided to compare with others and even say, hey, maybe this is not going to be given by this competitor. So maybe you need to, or this vendor, you need to check. So here we are just showing the comparisons, and I promise I was very surprised to see the savings. Like I didn't know what was. I knew we were cost effective, but this was like crazy. I will not comment on the numbers. I want people to just take a look by themselves. Of course, every product. It's important to say every product is different. But if people are coming sometimes to check the cost, I wanted to provide this.
So I wanted to ask you, Jose, here, was this a feature actually asked by the customers or by the users to have it? Maybe it was probably in the top 5 or top 3 even, right? To have this comparison between other providers, and does it help the users to actually make up their mind and just go for it?
So we just launched it yesterday evening. So now we are waiting for feedback, of course, but I saw many people coming to the console and trying to figure out that. So we hope this will help. And also, for example, at least for me as well, it's super difficult because, again, this is not blaming other vendors. It's super difficult to make a price model. I can tell you from my experience. But so sometimes it's like, okay, you pay this, but then if you read a lot, I need to charge you because it costs me a lot, this kind of thing. So now I can show people like, okay, we spend some time and how this works. So depending on how much you read, for example, in Azure, it can be pretty cheap, but maybe it can be very expensive, or depending on whom is paying, right? So yeah, just wanted to show this. We will be monitoring how it works, but we are, again, the team did here a great work. And yeah, I wanted to also show that. And of course, we are showing there the VictoriaMetrics single instance because is the most cost effective, but we are always trying to recommend that. If you've seen the issues everywhere, we are always saying, go for the single. It will get you far. People then say, no, but I want the cluster. You don't need the cluster. Like, okay, we can make it. We can make it in cloud, but we always recommend the single. Okay, I added this just in case people needed. I cannot add Datadog. If I add it, it will break the. Just kidding. By the way, it's kind of difficult to see the prices. It took some effort, yeah. So Datadog I couldn't, just to be honest. I see some comparisons from people or some trials. Some people try, but it's always making a lot of assumptions. Okay, so now let's go to other. I will try to speed up because I think I'm speaking a lot of time. Sorry for that. But the team did a lot of things. What can I do? So access tokens. We had also requests from folks because, of course, there are some limits that apply, and it was not very clear. So this improvement will help people to understand. Now we are showing the overview of these access tokens, like how many are you using, what is the limit, if you need more. Normally, we don't put a lot of trouble. If you need more, you just ask for them, but we need to put some limits because with some misconfigurations, you can tear sometimes your instance down, so it's important to protect our users. And this is an improvement that was asked by people. Regular reminder, please don't confuse access tokens with API keys. Access tokens is to access your deployment. API keys is to do manipulations with the API, for example, creating deployments, turning them down, etc. Okay, so let's continue now. A block about alerting. I saw a question earlier about alerting. We're busy. We have a lot of work to do. Making alerting right is very complicated, and we are taking it one step at a time. The first thing is, before you needed to go to create alerting rules or integrations of alerting based on presets, you needed to go to the integrations page. Right now, you can find it in your deployment. Hopefully, this will help people to make it quicker and easier. I'm trying to be a bit quick, but I don't want to miss these updates. Another great improvement this time, like earlier, you would need to upload your YAML with your alert configuration. And of course, this can be tricky or maybe annoying, right? Or you needed to delete all the file and then upload it again, and it was not great. And now you can just edit the rules one by one, and here having even the expression or the labels or the groups. So now you don't need to just upload the YAML, which there are a lot of memes on the internet about YAML engineering. So now, hopefully, this is going to be better. We want to improve this. We have even more plans to make it cooler and easier for people, but the feedback is welcome. If you are using it, please let us know. We have many improvements on our mind right now. The other feature that customers were requesting was being able to send notifications from system alerts to, like Grafana alert from VictoriaMetrics instances running in cloud. Right now, we just added generic webhooks. So now you just put your URL if it accepts HTTP post requests, and then you just pick your favorite authorization method, and it will work. So yeah, good for that one. And yeah, and we can still upload alerting rules via YAML and pick them to download them later. Yep. And I was talking about presets. So again, I want to praise for this great project, open source, called Awesome Prometheus Alerts by the user Samber. I hope I spelled that right. I pronounced that right. And it's great to have an open source project that we can build things. That's what open source. That VictoriaMetrics, we do that. We know a lot of people are building their projects on top. So we do the same with the community. And right now, we added a bunch more of them from alerting rules, presets that you can just add to your deployment. Like, hey, I am sending metrics coming, I don't know, from Jaeger or from Istio. Then you can just, with some clicks, add some alerts that are relevant for you. We recommend people to not add every alert if you don't want to get the fatigue, but that's up to users. Then we also were busy doing some stuff, and because we are engineers building products for engineers, so made by engineers for engineers, we wanted to say that, well, first, we now private link is available in all regions, and we will make a better integration soon. Some other things. We tried to even reduce the costs more by migrating everything to Graviton, and we tested it. Yeah, the performance was better, but also the price was better, and we didn't see any justification to change everything. You know, like it was not clear. So we will keep an eye, see how it evolves. We finalized the migration of every cluster to this topology that I believe Max was saying earlier, this blue-green topology or distributed topology. So now everybody has that. We had one that we didn't want to bother, but now it's done. And also we migrated to incremental backups on AWS this time. And yeah, we will be monitoring if that reduces our costs significantly, and hopefully we can adjust even our prices better. Too soon to tell. So apart from that, we fixed some UX with alerts. We will be releasing a blog post with all of this very soon. It's actually written already. It will be published very soon. Our passwords are stronger. Please continue asking for proof of concepts if you need them. If you are not sure how big you need a cluster or which kind of instance you need, we can make this, and they are working great. Documentation improvements and bug fixes and so forth. So that was a busy quarter. I don't want to overcommit. I think for me, this was like enough for 2 quarters. So, but we are working on other things. And just to say like a couple of things, we've been working a lot trying to get into SOC 2 certification. We are getting closer. Most of the job is done. So let's cross our fingers. And also for connectivity, the VPC integration with private link, we want to make it easier for users. We will be looking into that. Okay, so we released logs. What about traces? We will start looking into it. apart from that, we are building a secret project that I cannot share a lot. Maybe you can share in the comments what you think it may be. But I can tell you it's something that will make VictoriaMetrics Cloud very competitive. And the last thing, we want to make clusters more transparent in the sense of understanding the resources and which cluster do I need for my needs. So we are working on this and providing more visibility into that. Also, visibility in the console of credits consumption right now is not the best user experience, so we want to fix that. And I think that's it. Thanks everyone for listening. And sorry if I took too much time. I hope it's okay.
So just a question, because I saw like some interest, is it VM Anomaly gonna come soon within VictoriaMetrics Cloud?
So as you can see, things go super fast, and I wanted to have it last year. We wanted to have it last year, and finally we couldn't. We had some delays. This year, what we're going to do is actually we're going to install it ourselves because we know it's super useful, and we're going to learn from it. And then we want to apply those learns into the product. So it's part of our roadmap. And I hope we can get. There's so much to do. There's but I hope we can work in that very soon.
Well, we are super excited, and thank you so much, Jose. Obviously, if we're gonna get some questions about VictoriaMetrics Cloud, we'll get back to you. So right now we have another projects updates. I'm inviting Fred to the stage. 1 second. Bye, Jose. And adding. Hi, Fred. How are you?
I'm feeling great, thanks. Despite the weather in Poland, which is not that great yet, it's great enough to feel like a spring is coming. So it's always hard to be after Jose because he had such a beautiful and calming presentation as well as calming voice. But I tried to keep my part quick yet interesting enough with some demos. And my part will be about anomaly detection or VM anomaly product, which is a part of our enterprise offering, yet available for testing for customers.
So I wanted to pick your brain, Fred, because I asked this from everyone. What's like one personal favorite updates from this quarter about anomaly detection?
So for me, it's easier to pick for this quarter. Unfortunately, it will be a spoiler to my presentation, but it's worth it. So for me and for us and for our customers, usually onboarding to the product and the ease and the decrease of learning curve is the most important one, and also following the trends of AI as the next new normal. We're really proud to not only add in MCP server for VM Anomaly as for any other projects we have in VictoriaMetrics ecosystem, but it was last quarter. And this quarter we had a Copilot inside VM Anomaly UI, which was also added in previous quarter. So previous quarter we had UI, and right now you have Copilot in UI, which can help you with the help of MCPs, which can help you with configuration tuning, with changing UI state on your behalf, with asking and answering questions about documentation, including the UI itself. So it will, and it already reduced the curve of learning what is VM Anomaly, because VM Anomaly to some extent requires ML understanding, and now it's way easier with the help of AI, so you don't really need to require browsing the docs anymore, because they are all available inside and can be queried, as well as you don't really need to spend too much time to understand how it works. You just ask AI and it helps you.
So there you go.
The pitch about the feature.
So let's get into it. I'm already excited about that.
Yeah, and I hope that short live demo will work, and you'll see how it works and what it adds to the user experience. So I'll try to be quick. First of all, we'll recap where we ended in Q4. Then in Q1, we'll see some of the highlights and some of the details for what's currently work in progress. And then I'll share some future plans for next quarters for this year. So where we ended, the most informative and awaited feature for Q4 last year was addition of UI, which was also our local meme when the UI is happening. Previously, it was when the cluster version of VictoriaMetrics happening. Then it was when it will be UI for VM Anomaly. So finally, we did it. And it now has own changelog and own releases. What else? We also supported querying data in metrics format from VictoriaLogs and VictoriaTraces using specific query range, stats query range endpoint. So once you want to run anomaly detection on logs to metrics data or traces to metrics data, you can do it. Also, we added simplified runtime migration once our users want to upgrade to a new version, as well as compatibility metrics. And small spoiler, it's also available inside MCP and inside UI Assistant. So you can think in advance what it will cost you to upgrade and what will be compatible, what won't be compatible. So it's way easier to upgrade using our guide or using our MCP help, as well as MCP server itself for AI Assistant. So we followed our old direction and we really liked the results. And thanks everybody for helping us to release MCP for VM Anomaly after we released it for all the products, as well as we released 2 out of 3 public playgrounds for VM Anomaly for both metrics and logs. And spoiler, in Q1, we also released the missing one for traces. So going to Q1, we had 8 releases. We had a lot of updates for UI to improve the usability, to fix some of the glitches, and obviously to improve the experience with interacting with UI with the help of AI Assistant. And obviously, it's the most important and the most relieving part of interaction with UI. So this is a separate line here, as well as we added a third public playground for traces, which I also demo today. As well as for product itself, we added new simple yet impactful business argument to further reduce false positives, which I also demo in UI, which called relative deviation. So previously you have absolute deviation to constrain some of the anomalies from time series perspective, which at the same time were not meaningful enough for business. So you just blacklist those smaller deviations to not overinflate your alerting fatigue. Right now, you can do the same for relative deviation. For example, once you have a query that returns a lot of metric, each of different scale, and you don't know the scale in advance, but still you know that regardless of the scale, any deviations in both sides or in specific side less than 10% is not applicable for business. To even notify someone, then you can constrain it as false positive and blacklist it completely, as well as to see those boundaries in UI. As well as we added a documentation section for new server section of our config to run VM Anomaly. That's mostly used to fine-tune UI appearance, as well as to serve VM Anomaly UI for internal customers. So you can configure a parallelization, you configure application prefix, you configure credentials, you configure everything else like default state upon opening. And obviously a lot of bug fixes and resource optimization, which was mentioning, but not worth mentioning and taking precious time out of this presentation. So they are all listed in releases notes. As for UI improvements, and we'll see it in a minute, we had sorting and filtering of series returned by both execute query, which works similarly to VM Anomaly, to VM UI, and also to detect anomalies, which is a separate feature for VM Anomaly. As well as we added imitation of how would your alerting rules fire if you want not only a single point to be an anomaly, but rather a set of consecutive points being a longer anomaly. So it's now available to see this imitation in UI, as well as some statistics around it. As well as based on feature requests, we improved authentication arcs, like everything that you define in reader section, like TLS or user password or bearer token, that can be proxied to UI without the need of turning on some authentication proxy there or requiring to set up WMOs in front of it. As well as we added and improved some visualizations. So right now it's way easier to understand why exactly you have or haven't specific points marked as anomalies during your experiments, as well as various logic and UI bug fixes and improved resource utilization by this model itself. And obviously AI assistance, which I will happily demo in 1 minute. So from 1.29.3, you have this AI Copilot feature, which is now able to see and interact with the whole UI state. And by whole UI state, I mean the query that you typed in, the data range, the step parameter, the model configurations that you choose, scheduler parameters, whatever is needed to backtest specific configuration on your historical incident. So right now, it can be run on your behalf once you type in some commands in chat instead of manually clicking a lot, as well with all the validations and all confirmations. So if you don't want to apply the change, you just cancel it. And once you set up not only AI Assistant, but also connected to MCP following our simple guide. And by the way, we support a lot of providers for you to spawn AI Assistant from Anthropic and OpenAI and to Google Vertex, Google GCP, AWS Bedrock, whatsoever. So the choice is kind of broad, and you will likely find your provider there. So once you set it up and once you connect it alongside with MCP, AI Assistant will also have all the access to MCP tools. So it can suggest config, it can validate config, it can browse through documentation and answer your questions about how Anomaly works or what specific feature is, as well as make service health checks, whatever is available in MCP. As I mentioned, we added playground for traces. So it follows the same prefix, playwebanomaly.victoriametrics.com/traces, the same for metrics, the same for logs. So all of three right now have pre-filled UI state upon opening. So once you open it, you probably need to just run execute query to get input data and see how it looks, and detect anomalies button to see anomaly detection results. Also, if you are lazy enough, like I do, you can follow into embedded playgrounds without leaving the documentation once you want to read something about Vim anomaly, and we have dedicated collapsible sections for playgrounds. What's this work in progress? We are working for skills for Vim anomaly, and I hope that our community is already aware that we published our skills for VictoriaMetrics, and it will be also following by publishing skills for Vim anomaly. So it's currently work in progress, and ETA for it is Q2.
Can I ask you, Fred, what do you mean by skills? Just to remind you, have a context. Maybe some people don't know what's that.
Yes, so basically skills is a set of instructions for repetitive tasks that are regularly requested by our users. So for VictoriaMetrics, it will be, I don't know, list all the alerts or check what is some queried metrics that you store but never use. The same for Vim anomaly. It can be in a more compact way compared to MCP when it comes to context pollution and when it comes to token utilization. So it will be a more specific and isolated version of MCP to do more sophisticated workloads about anomaly detection, as well as connected to our other products like VictoriaMetrics and VictoriaTraces once we have skills for everything. So it's like another layer of what you can do with our products without the need of knowing too much about how they work. So you just translate this work to AI and it works for you.
So just to ensure the users out there, VictoriaLogs will be presented next after this one. So I know we had a long, exciting updates, but yeah, hang tight is gonna come for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Also, we are going to fully online models, and by online I mean that they are streaming based and they will learn from new data points and don't really require refitting. Currently, we already moved all the models except for profit. So this is the only model remains to be fully online. So it will take way less data queried from VictoriaMetrics and way less workloads to execute. Instead, it will be just a one-off update during each production of new anomaly score. So it will be way more tolerant to what is queried from VictoriaMetrics or VictoriaLogs or VictoriaTraces. as well as we follow our UI enhancement plan and redesign the UI for better user experience. And thanks for our designers, we already had a good thing to accomplish. So for user experience, it will be quite similar to what Jose have in VictoriaMetrics Cloud. So it will look fancier. It will take you less time to understand how it works, even with the help of AI, even without the help of AI. So this is the direction that we want to continue, as well as plans. We obviously want to update our VManomaly MCPs and skills once we release the first version for easier onboarding to the product and for our cross-product interaction, which is a keyword for 2026, as well as we'll work probably as a part of skills, we'll work on so-called dynamic presets with metric subset discovery. So once you get your metric prefixes, once you get your data installed in our system, you can request VManomaly to propose a good configuration for anomaly detection for that specific data set, including VManomaly configuration, queries, alerting rules, probably Grafana dashboards. So everything that is needed to set up additional observability layer for your data. As well as we work on root cause analysis for assisted causal incidental drill downs. So not only producing anomaly scores to simplify maintenance of alerting rules and simplify the way of how SRE work, but also help them deal with incidents quicker and with more informative fashion. As well as we'll contribute to VictoriaMetrics unification of observability layer. And as previously mentioned, I hope that we have time and resources to integrate with VictoriaMetrics Cloud, which will make me very happy. So fingers crossed to do this. And basically, that's it from the presentation. So let me try to share my screen to see the UI. Hope it works in StreamYard. 1 second. Can you confirm that you see my screen?
In just a second, I will load 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah, I will add it. Perfect.
Yeah, great. So for those who are not familiar with how VManomaly UI looks, it looks pretty similar to how VictoriaMetrics UI looks like. So VM UI for VManomaly, especially the upper part where you just type the queries and you set up data source like metrics or logs or traces, and you get your data first, as well as you define either with the help of AI, which I'll demo in a minute, or manually, what is the data resolution and step to get your data. For example, the best use case for exploring data in VManomaly UI is to get backtesting of specific anomaly model before it goes to prod on your well-known incidents in the past, so you can see how specific model works, what it does well, what it does not so good, and you can tune it. And once it's good enough, you copy the config. So then you can use one or more model classes with optionally a way to override its parameters. And then you experiment on the data to see what predictions did model make, how it correlates with actual data, and what was actually an anomaly. And regarding new features that we added or improved UX or UI, these are a couple of things. So let me turn it on and off for a while. So previously, you have only an option to see pointwise anomalies, and they were reflected in return time series, per time series. So you can see amount of anomalies as well as percentage of anomalies over the whole plotted data. But you actually can't imitate what would your alerting rule fire once you want not only one-off self-resolving anomalies, but rather things like this prolonged spike or prolonged regime change for a couple of days. So right now you can use a special option called streaks, where you imitate how long it should last until it's considered an anomaly. So you can see that smaller anomalies and self-resolving anomalies less than 3 points in size will go away. And right now you have a separate streaks statistics, which you can sort and filter on as well. And now it's more user pleasant to see and visual pleasant to see what exact invocation of alerting rule you'll get. So see, you can get here 2 specific alerts instead of a lot of single dots. So after you play with it, and for some reason you also want to know why some of the smaller anomalies are not anomalies, and for that we have business boundaries. So for example, let me turn it on for a while. So right now you can also see on the screen what you have configured for a model to blacklist business anomalies. So for example, here is your real data. Here is a prediction of the model. Here is the confidence boundaries for those predictions. Here are the anomalies according to the model. But also you can see what business arguments have you tuned. Like you are only interested in spikes, not drops. So for example, you can see that detection direction is above the expected value, not below. The same, you can see how your business guards work, like how big it is and why it constrains some of the smaller deviations. So these are not considered an anomaly, but you don't really need to revisit your model parameters to see what you set up there. Instead, you see it on the graph. So it's more for a visual experience rather than additional time series produced. So once you get back to streaks, you can also see less noise and see how it works. So after you play with the model, once you tune it, currently I'm not saying tune it with AI, so I'll demo it in a minute. Then you can see a detection summary in case you have a lot of time series returned by your queries. And then you can see what was produced, like for model only, which you can copy into a production config, or you can see the whole config, which you can copy to your production and probably tune a couple of things like date source URL to be yours, and that's it. So it's fully validated. It's already tuned to what you tuned in UI, as well as you can see example alert that match what you configured in UI state. So once you get your streaks, then you'll see your 4 parameter 4VM alert configured in the same way, given your step multiplied by at least 3. So it will imitate not only how it looks, but also how it works once you copy it to VM alert. So this simple, neat chat button is the bread and butter. So once you set it up, once you set MCP server aside of it, you can ask how it can help you with. So it can help you with configuration and setup, like model selection or parameter tuning for those models, scalar configuration. By scalar, I mean how often to retrain the models, on how big amount of historical data, how often to produce anomaly scores, as well as anomaly thresholding, as well as model query management. So everything that you see in UI, you can ask to change or to modify upon your request based on interaction with AI. So here, for example, and also what is good, it can see your current state, even if you don't ask it to. I mean, it can based on the first interaction. So you have your specific model class, you have your query likely about CPU usage metric, it's scheduling with specific parameters, you have your 27 days available on the screen, you have your specific anomaly configurations, and then you can ask different things from very simple, like, can you turn something on from UI? So once it gets, you hit apply and then turn it off. Or you can ask questions about UI itself, like what is 3x option, how it works. So if you are lazy enough like myself, you don't need to go for some pop-ups, and instead you get your explanation given our documentation, where our UI documentation is a part of, as well as you can ask for suggestion to some specific models, or ask to produce some specific VM alert rule, or ask other questions about documentation or how specific model works. So everything should be used to improve user experience and to get them faster onboarded into VM Anomaly. So basically how it works. And here I use it alongside with MCP, so it's both available to AI Copilot. and it's based on the models that you choose as a backbone. Here I'm using Claude Haiku, I guess. So it's powered by Claude Haiku.
Yeah, for me, it's
that's it from my side.
Yeah, I want to say, Fred, that for me, I really like the way the playground evolves from, like one quarter to another. It's really amazing, especially the integration right now with AI Assistant and MCP server, being able to feed and query all this information that we have. It's super useful. And I am really looking forward to play more with the playgrounds. I took it for a test drive and it was really nice. And yeah, definitely VM Anomaly is something like this definitely trending, is definitely like I see more and more people getting excited by anomaly detection, and that's definitely something great to see.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you have anything else to
At
add.
the same time, yeah, just a quick note, as long as you mentioned playgrounds, so here, if you can see my screen.
One second, I need to add it again. Right now, it should show. Yeah. Let's see.
So here you can see I'm opening our playgrounds for logs. I mean, VM Anomaly is that is working on logs and traces data source. So here you can type in any valid metric scale expression, which is followed by stats pipe to get your data. Here is really simple. I'm not that expert in log scale, but once you get the data, you can treat it the same way as you treat metrics from VictoriaMetrics, because it's actually metrics data converted from logs, and you can run anomaly detection on those. So it's not only available for regular production configuration, but also available in UI, as long as you have your data source configured for specific type and specific URL to get this data properly. So once you want to experiment with logs to metrics data and traces to metrics data, you can do it. So give it a try. And basically that's it from my side, from the updates. Again, I tried to be quick, but also wanted to share all the good news. So it was longer than I expected.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, we had all this excitement updates, and right now we're gonna go to VictoriaLogs with Alex Valyalkin. Thank you so much, Fred. One second. Thank you. So, hi, Alex. Welcome again. I'm adding to the stage, and the floor is yours. Before we go in VictoriaLogs, I know that the users have been asking for VictoriaLogs updates just now. What would be like your personal favorites from the updates from this Q1?
Yeah, that's, let's keep it secret for a few minutes, because that's will be the first one of the first slides in the presentation. So let's keep it secret for a few minutes.
Yep.
Okay, let's start. What's new in VictoriaLogs? And that's it. Object storage support. That's never-ending story, which probably will be finished soon. It is not available in some new release of VictoriaLogs, but it is available as a pull request, and I encourage you trying it, building VictoriaLogs from this pull request, and according to documentation. And it is not so hard. It is very easy, just a single command. And provide feedback in this pull request, and this will allow us speeding up reviewing this pull request and merging it into the next release of VictoriaLogs. So I encourage everyone who was waiting for object storage support to build it and try it. So let's look at other features of VictoriaLogs ecosystem. You know that VictoriaLogs has this VIA Legend component that's similar to VMagent. This component for collecting logs, accepting logs, and then sending this collected logs to the configured remote destinations. And it can replicate these logs into these remote destinations. And as you probably know from the last update, last quarter update for VLegend, it gains support for collecting logs from Kubernetes containers. It automatically discovers containers and collects these logs. And during this quarter, VLegend gained support for filtering these logs by various fields, various labels provided by Kubernetes, standard labels such as container name, pod name, namespace, IP address, and so on. You can see this in our docs, if you want. And this allows you quickly filtering out unneeded logs from unneeded containers and collect only logs from the containers you are interested in, which run in Kubernetes. That's a very powerful feature, and it always saving a lot of resources, CPU resources and memory resources at both VLegend site and at destination storage. The next feature is that VLegend now automatically parses Kubernetes system logs as structured data. If you are unaware of what is system logs, these strange-looking logs, which are generated by system components from Kubernetes, they have strange format, which starts usually with some capital letters such as I or W or E. This letter encodes a log level actually, and after that, immediately without any white space, you see some numbers here after this letter, and these numbers belong to timestamp actually. So this is a timestamp, and the next number is street ID of the application which generates these logs. Then the next part of this log is location of this log, and this location ends with closing square bracket. It's a very strange format, but that's it. And after that, these logs contain actual log message. So this format is weird, and now VictoriaLogs automatically, VLegend automatically parses such logs when it collects them from Kubernetes system containers and stores these fields individually as individual fields, which simplifies you exploring these logs, filtering them, and grouping. The next important feature of this VLegend is that it significantly reduced load on Kubernetes API. How VLegend works? You usually must install it on every Kubernetes node, and it consults the Kubernetes API server for containers and pods which run on that particular node, and it discovers these nodes and containers, and then discovers logs for these nodes containers and starts collecting these logs from the containers. And it periodically consults this API server for updates for new containers, for new pods, for old pods which disappeared, and so on. And previously, this load was quite high on the API server, and it could result in overloaded Kubernetes API server if you have hundreds or thousands of Kubernetes nodes in a Kubernetes cluster. And now VLegend is optimized for this case, and it doesn't increase significantly a lot on the Kubernetes API server. The next feature in VLegend is that it automatically reloads tokens and certificates without the need to restart VLegend, and that's a useful feature when you frequently rotate these tokens and certificates in your Kubernetes clusters. The next feature is that VLegend now gains support for sending logs in JSON-LAN format to some remote storage. Previously, it supported only internal format for sending logs to VictoriaLogs, and now you can choose sending these logs to JSON-LAN format, and this allows using VLegend for sending logs to systems other than VictoriaLogs, such as, for example, ClickHouse, FluentBit, Vector, and so on. And this allows building some flexible schemes with flexible routing of this collected logs by via legend. Then you can send, for example, these logs to vector for some additional transformations, and then send these transformed logs to other destinations such as VictoriaLogs. And the last important feature of via legend is the ability to collect logs from arbitrary files specified via glob pattern. Via legend supports command line flag file collector.glob, and you can specify it arbitrary glob pattern, and via legend will collect, discover all these files and collect all the logs from all these files. And it automatically watch for new files matching for this glob and automatically collect all these logs. So now via legend can collect logs from files which are generated by various systems such as Redis, ClickHouse, Nginx, and so on. And you can specify this file collector glob pattern multiple times if you need to collect logs from different distinct paths on your file system. And via legend we focus on performance and resource usage, low resource usage for via legend components. That's why we Vadim Alexeyev, the main maintainer of via legend, created a blog post where he compared via legend with other collectors, log collectors for Kubernetes, for typical use cases in Kubernetes. And guess what? That's how this benchmark scheme works. It contains the log generator, which generates logs. This log generator is just a special pod which generates some logs, and these logs are stored into some files by Kubernetes. And then the tested log collectors collect these logs and then send them to log verifier. And the log verifier is some kind of reduced code functionality of via legend itself or VictoriaLogs itself. It just accepts logs via supported protocols, support protocols by VictoriaLogs, and just drops them. And such scheme allows measuring the performance and correctness and resource usage of different logs collectors. And guess what? The legend uses the least resources, the least amount of resources, and provides the maximum throughput. For example, it can collect more than 1,100 of logs per second in this test, and the next log collector which follows it has more than 5 times less performance. And I encourage you reading this blog post. This blog post is posted published on our VictoriaMetrics website, and I encourage you reading it. If you don't read it, it contains very detailed information, and you can repeat this benchmark in your environment. And of course, via legend uses the less amount of memory in these benchmarks compared to competitors. And yeah, the summary that via legend is the fastest log collector for Kubernetes on the market, which uses the least amount of CPU and memory resources. That's why if you face issues with high CPU and memory usage for log collectors in Kubernetes, I encourage you trying VictoriaLogs via legend. Okay, then let's go to other improvements which are related to querying path. In VictoriaLogs, we added a few of new functions and new filters, such as IPv4 v6 range filter, which allows searching for some IPv6 addresses or networks in your logs. And thank you for the external contributor for this feature. It has been implemented by external contributor. The next feature is also implemented by the same external contributor. This filter which allows finding your logs with JSON arrays, and if this JSON arrays contain the specified values. That's some feature which can be useful in some cases. The next feature is the standard deviation stats function, which calculates obviously standard deviation. And also we added 3 new functions, such as any, field max, and field min to stats pipe function. And what these functions do, the any function just return any value for the provided field per each group of logs evaluated by stats function. For example, in this case, we just add return any URL per each host for across logs for the last 5 minutes. Just a sample of URL. Then field max function accepts 2 arguments. The first argument is the field name, which must have the maximum value, and the second argument is a field name which must be returned for this max value. For example, in this case, we return URL with the maximum time per each host for this stats function. And field min is the same, but for the minimum time, or for the minimum value for some field. It can be not only time, but any field, arbitrary field. That's very useful functions for some cases, for some logs analysis, and that's good to have them. The next feature is quality of life improvement feature. The stats pipe in VictoriaLogs supports the ability to add conditional filters per each function specified in this stats pipe, and like on the left side here on this slide. But that is not so convenient compared to the usability improvement on the right side. We just added this switch statement, and you can use the switch statement at the place instead of the if statement. And the improvements here is that you specify this count function only once instead of multiple times. And then specify the switch statement with different cases, and also there is a default case which matches all the logs which didn't fit all the previous cases inside the switch statement. So that's a very useful feature, the quality of life improvement. So the next feature is the ability to specify global filters, which must be applied to the query and to all the subqueries. There is a common problem when you use subqueries. Our users face the problem that these subqueries usually must contain the same subset of filters, the identical filters across all the subqueries, and these filters also exist in the top query filter. And this feature, global filter option, allows specifying these filters, subset of these filters only once, and VictoriaLogs automatically adds this subset of these filters across all the subqueries and across the main filter in the query. The next feature is ability to enrich logs with statically defined fields. it is built on top of the join pipe. We already had the join pipe, and it accepts subquery for joining, like regular SQL queries. But now it supports also joining by statically defined fields or rows. Yeah, like in this example, you can enrich all the logs with host names according to the matching IP addresses in IP fields. The next feature allows you adding additional log entries to your query results, and you just specify this statically define this log entries, which must be added to your query results. It can be done with union pipe, which already existed, but it supported only subquery, and now it supports also specifying just statically defined rows, and these rows are added to query results. The next feature is also very great big demand from our users, the ability to filter by multiple field names without specifying all these field names. And you just specify field name prefix, put a star after that, and specify any filter, and now this filter is applied to all these field names. And if some of these field names match this filter, then it is considered this filter matches the log entry. So it allows, in basic case, it allows searching across all the log fields or a subset of log fields with some prefix for some phrases or some words. For example, if you want to search for error word across all the log fields, then just specify star, put colon, and then write this word, and VictoriaLogs will return you all the logs with this word across all the log fields. If this word exists in at least a single log field. And my favorite feature, which looks like small, but I like it almost the same as object storage support. This feature which consistently sorts results, field names in query results in alphabetical order. Before that, there was no any guarantee that in the order of returned fields. The fields might be returned, log fields, I mean, may be returned in arbitrary order before that feature. And now the log fields are consistently returned sorted by name, unless you use special pipes which specify the particular order. And the special of pipes is fields, which you can specify the particular order of fields which you want to return, or stats pipe, which also implicitly specifies the order of fields with a by statement and with the stats functions names.
So, Alex, can I ask you here, like, why do you think this alphabetical order is interesting or helpful?
Because now you can rely on this order as a client. As a client on the client side, you can rely on this order of fields. Because previously we had to add this sorting of these fields at the client side at Web UI, at Grafana plugin for VictoriaLogs, or VLogs CLI. We had to apply this sorting after receiving this query results. And this sorting is useful from the usability perspective, because when every query result has tens or even hundreds of fields, and these fields are not sorted in some order, then it is very hard by human to find the particular field. And if these fields are sorted, then this significantly simplify this task by human to find the particular log field across tens of thousands or hundreds of these log fields. And now, why I'm proud of this feature that clients should not apply any sorting. The sorting is applied on the server side, and also sometimes the sorting isn't needed. In such cases, when you specify this fields pipe or stats pipe with a particular order of fields which you expect to see. And previously, the client could not detect reliably such cases, so it just sorted all these log fields unconditionally. And this also could break some expectations of users when they specify this fields in particular order in fields pipe and expect that these fields will be returned in the client in this particular order, but they were in different order. And now this is fixed and this is documented, and this became a standard of VictoriaLogs response. So let's go further about data ingestion improvements. The first improvement is related to, by default, when you ingest logs into VictoriaLogs in JSON format, it flattens this nested JSON structures into a flat structure with flat keys joined by dots and some values according to our data model for VictoriaLogs. And sometimes this doesn't, usually this works great, but sometimes this doesn't work great. And we had such issues with some users who ingest logs with some JSON object in these logs, such as items, and this JSON object contains a lot of high cardinality keys with some values. And in this case, this default flattening scheme for logs works not good, because it results in explosion of these field names because of these unique values for every item. And this doesn't work great in VictoriaLogs, because VictoriaLogs expects that the number of log fields is limited. It works perfectly with big number of log fields, such as hundreds of log fields, like in wide events, but it expects that this number of log fields is limited, that these log fields are generated by humans, and humans cannot generate thousands or millions of different names for log fields. And in this case, this breaks, and now VictoriaLogs has a solution for such case. It provides the ability to specify JSON key paths which should not be flattened. And you can specify this, in this case, preserve JSON keys argument with this items path. And after that, VictoriaLogs will not attempt to flatten contents of this items object, JSON object. It will store it as this as a JSON object string in VictoriaLogs. The next feature has been implemented by our user, and thank you for this user, which allows you automatically detecting remote IP address of when logs are ingested via journal-D protocol, and store this remote IP address into remote IP field. That's a usability feature, which I believe is useful for users who use journal-D protocol for logs ingestion. The next feature is also usability feature, which allows you ingesting logs with _stream special field in JSON format into VictoriaLogs. And why this feature is so important? Because it allows you piping, querying VictoriaLogs and piping these results from VictoriaLogs into ingestion endpoint for JSON, which accepts this JSON stream of logs in VictoriaLogs without any preprocessing. Because when you query VictoriaLogs via a query endpoint, you get this JSON lines, logs formatted in JSON lines, and they usually contain this underscore stream field, because this field contains this log stream fields. And previously, it didn't work correctly, and now it works correctly as expected. Then when you pipe these logs and store them into some other instance of VictoriaLogs or into the same instance of VictoriaLogs, you get expected results that with this underscore stream field correctly parsed and correctly interpreted.
So, Alex, we have a question from a user. So is there an easy way to remember the pipe syntax? It seems like each pipe has its own pattern.
No, there is no easy way to remember this pipe syntax because every pipe has its own syntax, and I also do not remember all these pipes and all the syntax, and that's why we have documentation for all these pipes, and I encourage everybody to consult this documentation when in DOP. And also we are improving web UI, built-in web UI for VictoriaLogs and Grafana plugin for VictoriaLogs with automatic suggestions which contain the documentation docs about every pipes. And also on top of this, the upcoming version of VictoriaLogs plugin for Grafana will have query builder, which will hide most of these complexities with these pipes if you do not remember them. So the next feature which is related to data ingestion is the introduction of endpoint which accepts a multi-tenant data logs from VLegend. By default, VLegend sends it is recommended to send logs to and specify the particular tenant when you send logs from VLegend to VictoriaLogs. But it is possible to send logs to multiple tenants into VictoriaLogs destination via this new endpoint. Previously, we had internal endpoint, which was used mostly for solely for accepting logs from VL insert component by VL storage in cluster mode, and this endpoint must be internal because it starts from the internal prefix, and the fact that this endpoint was used by VLegend for sending multi-tenant data was not so good, and that's why this new endpoint has been introduced. And this is also a good feature that now VictoriaLogs gains the capability of accepting logs from Splunk agents over Splunk protocol. That's good, and this documentation for this Splunk data ingestion protocol misses how to configure Splunk agent for sending data to VictoriaLogs, but there is a feature request, and I think that this page will be updated in a few days with this information, which will simplify using your Splunk, migrating from Splunk to VictoriaLogs, and continue using the Splunk agent for sending logs to VictoriaLogs. And let's look at some UI improvements. The first improvement is the addition of this cumulative toggle. By default, VictoriaLogs web UI shows this bar chart like individual bars, and each individual bar shows the number of logs on this given interval. And you can click this cumulative button and get this cumulative view of these logs, and it might be helpful. For example, you instantly see the number of logs over the given time range by looking at on the right side of this bar chart. Or you can look how this volume of logs grows over time on the selected time range. The next important feature is the ability to select the width of these bars, duration of these bars, intervals. You notice that this interval selector in the top left corner, and you can see that here it is 30 seconds, and you can change it to some sane intervals in 5 seconds on this particular case, and these intervals are automatically adjusted according to the selected time range. They increase when the time range increases, and they decrease when the time range decreases. The next feature is the ability to download logs in CSV format. And previously, VictoriaLogs Web UI already had support for this downloading of logs in CSV format, but that feature has been removed because it was not useful, because it allowed only downloading logs which you see in the Web UI. And usually, you see only a small portion of logs for the selected time range, the most recent logs usually. And when you download logs, the most of users want to download all the logs which match the given filter on the given time range, the given query on the given time range. And this new feature allows you downloading these logs in CSV format. And previously, VictoriaLogs already supported this downloading all the logs in JSON line format. And the important point here is that it downloads all the logs, even if the number of matching logs on the selected time range is billion or trillion. It will allow you downloading all these logs without crashing your browser, because these logs are downloaded in streaming manner, and after that you can investigate them offline. So we have this download button in the right in this square bracket, red square, and yeah, you can choose this different formats. The next feature is this sidebar, filter sidebar, which allows you quickly filtering logs by clicking, mouse clicking without typing any words in query. By default, not by default, but it shows all the log stream filters, log stream field values for the selected for the given query. And by default, it shows the query is star query, which selects all the logs. So you see all this log stream fields here on the sidebar. By default, the sidebar is hidden, but you can click on this filters button and get this sidebar, and then select filter these logs very easily by clicking on the buttons, checkboxes here. And when you click these checkboxes in this sidebar, you will see that these checkboxes convert to special buttons in this red square here. And you can this allows you understanding which logs you see now, and you can quickly remove some of the buttons by clicking this cross button, cross sign on every button here. And also, Web UI gained numerous usability fixes other than all these features which I mentioned before. That's why I recommend you upgrading VictoriaLogs and try this new Web UI and play. If you don't want upgrading VictoriaLogs or don't want to play with it, you just can go to our playground for VictoriaLogs and play with this new UI. And let's look at some quality of life improvements for DevOps who run VictoriaLogs components. The first feature is related to working with partitions. VictoriaLogs creates stores data in per day partitions and always managing these partitions on a granular basis. You can attach, detach partitions, create snapshots from these partitions, and then drop these partitions or upload these partitions from some backups, for example. And now you can create partitions for multiple days, because previously you could create only partitions for a single day. Well, not partitions, but snapshots. You also can remove these snapshots via different paths. The first path, you specify the snapshot path via delete API. And the second option, you specify maximum age of snapshots which you want to keep, and VictoriaLogs will drop the rest of the snapshots. And you can also use max snapshots age command line flag for automatic deletion of all snapshots. And also we published a new dashboard, official dashboard, which is named VictoriaLogs internal state, which allows you understanding some internal state of VictoriaLogs, such as the number of total number of logs, the ingestion rate of logs, the distribution of disk space usage by log fields, which log fields use the most of disk space, and so I recommend you installing this dashboard and investigating it. Let's look at some new features in Grafana plugin for VictoriaLogs, and there is only one major feature which is related to heat map. Now you can build heat maps from query results of VictoriaLogs. In this case, you can build heat map which shows the duration of heat map over time with the histogram stats function, and you also can build heat maps by for instant queries, not over time, and apply grouping by host. For example, in this case, you can look at the distribution of some query duration or request size by some host, for example, and every host has its own color, and you can see this distribution. And of course, VictoriaLogs plugin for Grafana has numerous bug fixes. That's why I recommend you regularly upgrading this plugin, especially if you hit some issues in it. And I recommend you do not wait for something and just upgrade to the latest and greatest release of VictoriaLogs. This is 1.50 now, because it contains all these features and it contains all the bug fixes which we know, and it also contains all the performance improvements and resource usage improvements. That's why I encourage everybody to follow our releases pages and update VictoriaLogs and VictoriaMetrics to regularly make these updates, because the latest releases usually contain all the known bug fixes and all the known improvements. That's it.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Alex. That was really interesting, and yeah, definitely we need feedback from the users. So yeah, right now I'll invite everybody back on the stage if you are still there. If you didn't want to dinner.
We are over time for half an hour.
I'm adding Jose. Let's see who is here. JJ, Fred, and Max. So hi everybody, welcome back. Yeah, what about this wonderful round of updates? It's always good from our side to also hear the latest updates on the products. So yeah, it's really exciting. Any questions or anything that you want to add before wrapping it up?
it was endless stream of improvements in VictoriaLogs. I lost count of all the features there.
It's like streamed aggregation, but streamed improvements.
Yes.
Yeah. From my side, I just want to thank everybody for presenting, and thanks for having me here. And I wish you have a great day ahead, as well as for any of our listeners and viewers. Take care, guys. Thanks for being here.
So yeah, if you have like any feedback, obviously you can always ping us on the public chat, Slack channel, opening a GitHub issue, leaving a feedback. So all the normal community channels. Yeah, and thank you very much for being here and sharing this round of updates. And yeah, wish you a great evening. Thank you, everyone. Take care.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.